Oh, what a weekend. What a weekend. Yo, guys. Hey, I've decided that for the sanity of all of us, and so that people aren't throwing things around, come we'll do Chiefs at 8 p.m. We'll do Chiefs at 8 p.m. We'll do Chiefs when you're in the comfort of your own home, most of us. Uh, and we'll have a therapy session, a nice therapy session. Let's get to some man. Let's get to some That's all I'm saying. So we're gonna do Chiefs later. Let's speak about Pirates and possibly also touch on Sundowns. We'll touch on Sundowns as well. I just want to make sure, guys, you can hear me, ne? You can hear me. If ever I needed a reason not to do a show, hey, Kaizer Chiefs, but it's fine. We're gonna start with Pirates. Okay, I think we're good sound wise. So let me start the show. Welcome everyone to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mukwena. I am your host. This show is every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then also Monday to Wednesday. We also have a night shift at 8 p.m. Where we come back, where we're going to have an impromptu therapy session with Kaizer Chiefs at 8 p.m. That's when we're going to do it. If you're listening on Facebook or YouTube and you're wondering how you add your voice to the show, just know that you have to be following me on TikTok. Join me on TikTok. And then at the bottom of your screen, there'll come a time where I'll say, hey, I'm opening up the lines. At the bottom of the screen, there'll be a button that says multi-guest. Click on that button, request, jump in, and then we can speak about what we've been speaking about. So you can add your voice to the show. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes, they are available in full on Facebook and on YouTube. Hey, whew. Hey. Chiefs is at 8, guys. Chiefs is at 8. I'm giving you guys time to calm down. Let's talk about Pirates. As you know, after a big game, we're doing calling a knockout. So let's hear what the two coaches had to say, and then we'll go from there. I've heard rumors that there's going to be some news at 1 p.m., but I don't know. We'll see as it happens. Ah.
What it is it's another loss, and which is not good. But as I said, some of the performance was really good. Obviously, the result wasn't what we wanted, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, the scoreboard doesn't lie, and this is the tough task that we have at hand. Building these boys up. Same thing, in the last match against SuperSport, the league match went 1-0 up. At good moments, and it's almost like these boys are going, here we go again. So psychologically, mentally, it's a tough challenge, but yeah, next game, Pirates again at home in Cape Town. So yeah, this game is gone. Nothing we can do about it. Look back, look at some of the good moments when we do some analysis, some of the poor moments, some of the moments that we need to improve. But again, proud of the boys and some good progress.
Okay. There we go with what coach Vasily Manusukis, I believe it is, had to say there. Let's hear what Jose Rivero is on.
The match from your perspective?
Good evening. A cup game, a knockout game with a difficult one. We knew it. Honestly, trust me, we knew it. That it's going to be difficult after winning a trophy back home against an opponent that was not doing or not getting the results, the good results in the league. After a FIFA break, it's difficult to perform in the level that you want the team always to do it, and today it happens a bit. In the beginning, it took a little bit of time. When we managed to get the proper rhythm and the proper pace, again, a lot of interruptions in the first half. It's getting like usual, that the games are every time stopped with a lot of interventions from physios and doctors, and that's difficult to manage. But I think we finished we conceded a couple of chances that we shouldn't, but we finished the first half, I think, in a good rhythm, very close to score. Two actions, Dion and Kermit before the pause. And in the second half, I think we dominate much more. The rhythm continue very high, and I think the opponent struggled a bit with that in the second period. And after the goal, we were a bit more relaxed on the ball, and we played much better. Happy with the fact that we are again in the next round. Happy with the way that the team today, even though we were not super good in the first half, but the pressing and the aggression and the intention and the ambition was there. It's something to highlight. And yeah, overall, I think a good night for Pirates.
Okay. I want to say when he's one, he doesn't mind speaking to the media. When he's one, he doesn't mind having chats with them and telling them about how he's feeling. Mara, should he lose, you see a different Jose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just lay the table, then I'm going to let you guys jump in and we'll speak about this game. Look, I think Cape Town City, as the coach said, they're struggling with a little bit of the mental stuff. We all know, Guti, they've played 8 games in the PSL so far, and they haven't won a single game. Nor have they drawn a single game, no points on the board. And they just fired Sean Bartlett. So going into this game, you would imagine that team is demoralized. You'd imagine that team would be an easier team to play because they're on the ground. They've got a lot of problems. And at some point in that game, you would understand. You'd understand that, we've got bigger things to focus on. We have to focus on staying in the league. We have to focus on putting points on the board. So I think they came out very bright. They had moments where they were playing the ball around while Paris was trying to find itself. But then when push came to shove, I think they all just said, you know what, guys, it's been great, it's been real, let's go home. That's essentially what happened there. You could see the coach now, he was just worried. The moment that penalty was given, the moment that penalty was scored, it was done for. On Pirates' side, I'm going to carry on saying the same thing. Pirates is an emotional team. Pirates struggles playing quiet, slow games. And it didn't help today that he changed some of the players. He put in a few guys that hadn't played any games for Pirates. So there was a little bit of a quiet moment where they couldn't find each other, where they didn't know what they were doing. And it's still very interesting to see what happens. Escotini, man, when they're starting to struggle, the fans turn against them. It becomes quiet. They become frustrated. Luckily, the penalty was given to Podlela, put it away. Then Erasmus scored that second goal. I think Jose can afford to tinker with tactics when it comes to games versus the Cape Town Spurs. You saw Pirates playing with four upper attacking players. Gondro obviously was not there. So there was a bit of a disconnect. Obviously, Lodge coming back and winning that 100,000. That's why we need. When it's Chiefs, the Chiefs is going to pick favorites. But Gimo Pirates chose the Lodge. So it's very interesting. We'll see what happens as we go along because, as you know, Chiefs is out, Sundowns is out, Super Sports is out, even Morgan Mamila is out. So this is really for Pirates to win. I don't think they're going to face too big of an issue going forward. I believe the next game is going to be Richards Bay United. So for all intents and purposes, Pirates has to win this game. Angazi lapha kaKhaling. KaKhaling, I don't know, because if Pirates gets knocked out quarterfinals, Carling is going to be sitting with a final of Richards Bay and Skukure United, and I don't know how you deal with putting 20 million towards a tournament and then having that play out. But well done to Pirates, I guess, coming into this game with the momentum of knocking out, of winning EMTN 8, and this was a done game, man. Let's be honest, it was a done game. But in any case, guys, let me open up the lines. At the bottom of your screen, there is a button that says multi-guest. You have to be following me in order to access that button. So let's see. Sizwe, while I wait for Sizwe, Kevin Hunt told us that he doesn't care about this competition. He doesn't care about Confed. He doesn't care about this competition. He just wants to play the league games. Maranza, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good and you, man. How are you, man?
Yes, I'm saving my emotions for tonight. Tonight, sizokhuluma nge-Chiefs. Manje ithi nginijabulise, ngikhulume nge-team yenu.
Ukhuluma team enkulu, that's the biggest thing. I don't care with this one.
How did you see this game, Maranza?
No, man, I think it was good. It was a good game actually, but I feel Cape Town Spurs, whatever they were doing first half, I don't know why they're not doing it in the league. You as a team, you cannot want to play, choose games to play, on a professional level, you don't have that time, to choose games and all that. And I felt Pirates somehow they were a little bit lost in the first half. I was lost also because I couldn't understand what they were trying to do, what was their plan, and with Mahopa, little bit shake game time, large game time, yes, quality is quality, you cannot change it. But they were a little bit lost, and I was worried when we go to halftime without scoring any goal, and I said no, now it's going to, one of those days whereby a team which has not won anything through the whole, even in the preseason, they even won the game in the preseason. They can start winning through Pirates. That was my worry, but it was because of I felt Pirates were taking things lightly when it comes to playing against maybe looking at the results actually of Spurs and taking them lightly. That was my worry, and that for me doesn't work when it comes to Pirates. You're supposed to kill to show that you are hungry for this, you know. So I still wish that going forward, because Sundowns is our Chiefs, our super sport, which I thought if they won, they're going to be, you know, dangerous and all that. I wish Paris they don't change their mentality when it comes to that, looking at the smaller teams and say, no, we already won it, because that is where it's going to catch us, you know. But it was a good game. I think it was a game of two halves, you know.
Okay.
It was a game of two halves. And one last thing that I want to say, you know, you know what, as for Spurs, I wish they can introduce those boys more. You know, it is good to see young players coming into PSL. You know, I wish they can keep on coming. You know, every team have three players which are 17 years old, 18 years old, and all that. You know, to show that we are growing. You know, growing doesn't mean let's be now 34 years, 26 years. To show that the PSL is growing, we're having confidence in the young boys. I wish they can do that, to be honest. You know, that it was a game of two halves, you know. But I wish parents can stop this mentality, to be honest.
I'm gonna come back. We'll dive into it. Agent 007. I see, man. You even gave them time. They don't wanna jump in. They don't wanna say anything about their team.
Ba rata ditaba tsa batho wa di ke tsa ma Chiefs. Wa ba tlo tsa batho.
Tell me, Agent, when you enjoying this game? How did you find this game?
You know, how are you, man?
No, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm saving. I told you, my emotions, I'm saving them for 8 tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, we'll speak about the other team. But for now,
You know, I think for me, that's where I want to start. You know, I think we need to maybe define what a fan is in football. You know, because I think the problem is we get to confuse a fan and a disciple. You know, a disciple is what the master says, the master goes. You know, what the master says is the gospel. A fan should have the ability to criticize, to support, and all those kinds of things. You know, but I think as South Africans, we are more of disciples, or we are in emotional fans. We go with what. If the team wins, it's good. If the team loses, it's not good. You know, I think that's where the problem is. Because sometimes I look at Jose. I'm not saying Jose is a bad coach. He's a very good coach. You know, but sometimes you look at back and say, but Jose has had his moments. Has had his moments. The one cup that I think he won deservedly so was the M10-8, where they beat Sundowns with Osaling when he was on form. But I look at the Nedbank Cup where they were playing in Loftus. I forgot the team they were playing against. Sekhukhune, the penalty of Cardoso, the last minute goal by Zuka Manja. You think on another day you don't get that kind of silliness from Sekhukhune player, and another day a better team defense or Sekhukhune defense better in the 90th minute. And you look at the M10-8 final, you say, but Zwane Shadule usually score those goals. So like, we see what Chiefs what is playing. No, I'm not saying Paris deserve the cup. I'm just saying let's be objective about what you say. You know, but Jose, man, has a lot of question marks. You know, and I think those questions are being covered by the victory. You know, whoever wins the cup deserved it. But you look at the key moments, even this past week, you look at it and say, if Spurs don't concede that pen, what happens next? Because Parents didn't look like scoring. You know, so I think this is where my problem is with Ojo say that, you know what, he has a lot of questions. He's winning, and football is all about winning, but sometimes I look at the play of Pirates and I'm like, lot of questions. I think that was my key takeaway, you know, and also the mentality issues. Like, when they go against the so-called weaker sides, like that mentality drop. You know, I think we saw that against the team from Uzana Galaxy, I think. And
Stellenbosch
we saw
in
it
the
in
last
this
game.
game. Stellenbosch, this game also, you know. It's like they go with the occasion. I think you put it right, that they go with the crowd. You know, when the crowd is jumping up and down, they go to that level. When the crowd is quiet, they drop to that level also. So I think Jose firstly has to address a way of playing, and secondly, has to address the mentality issue, then I think that was my key takeaway from the game.
Okay. Let me go to Theo. Bafo.
Yeah,
We're still gonna have our time. Ngiyazi ukuthi imele lethu. Mara masikhuluma ngama-neighbor wethu. How are you, my brother?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Otsi?
I'm good. Uyibone njani le game?
Oh wow, yo, first of all, let me greet everyone here, man. Oh, Mr. Agent just said something very interesting when it comes to our disciples and our fans. Pirates, in the past few weeks, you remember, hey, Jose must go, he wins the cup. And then now they're like, we see what Jose is doing. He gets them into the next stage. But nonetheless, besides the game, he get golden arrows, guys. I think they were playing against Cape Town City. I think the game Pirates for me was one of the best games that I've watched. In this culling label. I sat down today. We knew what was going to happen. Even the Chiefs, we knew it was going to be boring. But the Pirates was very entertaining. For a perspective, I thought Cape Town Spurs. Pirates were just gonna eat lapha nje bengithi ukuthi kungena 4 goals ngisuke ngakubhethwe ngathi 4 engayisola mase ngibona first half ngithi ayibona iPirates ingayenzi lento engiyifunayo. But nonetheless, I think Cape Town Spurs, guys, they really, for me, I think they just need a striker that can finish chances. They need that guy that will be up there, that can just, that will have a goal in him. They are playing very good football, especially now. They are rotating the ball nicely. They are in the right patches, in the right spaces. Imagine having to close Pirates for the first 45 minutes. Because Pirates were nowhere to be seen for the first 45 minutes. Then second half, they were advancing now because they needed the win. That's why you saw this guy in the middle, man, Lokapa cool. The whole shy shot, but then the goalkeeper saved, and then in the penalty, No, sorry, man. So I'm getting called. Sorry.
No, short.
Munar.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks,
sorry,
Ronnie.
guys. There was a call. Sorry, Mr. Otsi. Yeah, there was a shot. Yeah, after that shot, like you saw, Pirates were now advancing, getting that, that stability. Let's say as we Pirates, but nonetheless, man, I think Pirates is really, really. They are gonna take this cup, whether we like it or not. There's no competition, but the third part is exactly what Mr. Agent is saying. Imagine if they can take this kind of attitude, this kind of the domination that they had second half, take that same attitude and bring it in the league. Every team that you play in, dominate them. I think the league would be more interesting because even you hear Jose is saying they've been struggling in the league. So if they can take this same mindset and bring it in the league, they can better compete with Sundowns because so far you can team as cause Sundowns distraction except the Pirates, guys, whether we like it or not.
Tembo Kaitano Tembo. Quarterfinals. Let me begin. Lord Mula. How are you, my brother? You can just unmute there, Lord Mula. Okay, Lord Mula has fallen off. Let me go to Ronnie. I'm going to come back to that. Let me go to Ronnie. Ronnie, let's talk about Cape Town Spurs. Dead lost in the league. 8 games, 8 losses. Fired a coach. Didn't seem to be playing. Michael Morton, left wing. They looked a little bit better in this game. What do we think about Cape Town Spurs' chances in the league? Because in this game, there was a chance early on that they could have maybe seen something. Mara, what do you think of what Cape Town Spurs is doing? Is there hope?
You know what? In South African football, there is hope. I don't want to lie. Because if we can get 28 points, I think now they are on the 8th, right? They left with how many games? I think
22.
22 games. If you times that with 3, how many? 60, 66 somewhere points, right?
Yeah.
So this is we are far. We still early. For them to advance or to avoid relegation, at least to the next 10 games, they must at least get around 15 points. That is for me. But
then how hard is it for a team to turn around that mental? 8 games losses. Every time in England, How hard is it to turn that team around? You heard the coach saying that he felt as though his boys got to a point where they were like, you know what, guys, it's Zamile. Let's sit back and take this loss.
No.
How hard is it to turn a team around?
No, you know what? Things like that, they need somebody with character, especially from the coaching side or the technical side. They need people with character, people who can come in and sit with them down, and tell them that, you know what? Try to draw a structure whereby you're saying, as much as I'm saying, there's 66 points, to play for. We don't have to concentrate on net bank. Why do we have to concentrate on net bank? Why do you have to concentrate on? I'm happy they're out on this. What do you call it? The cup,
This
because
cup,
it was going to, it was going to distract them. So now it needs somebody with character. It needs the office themselves to come in and say, this is what we're looking for, or what can we do, So some of the
Mara
things.
Ron, imali. Na babo Richards Bay, bane 500,000 just for Uguina. Shouldn't it be something that Cape Town Spurs, because they've been complaining about imali?
Let me tell you something. The good thing about this cup is that I think they will get around 500,000. Losing that game alone, they already got 500,000.
It's got 250.
250. I think 250. Sorry, I think when it goes to the next round. But what I'm saying, it is the bigger picture. It is not the trophy, and the money. It's about saving the status. I think Chippa United must Chippa Pingis must sit them with them down to tell them how to save the status, to be honest, because it's one of the best when it comes to that. But to be honest, they need somebody who's going to talk to them. Try. I think that they have quality when it comes to experience. They have quality, to be honest. They have. The only thing is that the age and all the age gap is too big. With the quality that they have, but the age, they are 36, 37, some. So you understand me? But they need to sit down. The problem that they made is to come into PSL and then you don't beef up. That was the biggest mistake that they did. You don't do that. Remember, PSL and NFD, they're total different environment. So they're supposed to come into PSL and try to beef up. Why can't you go and get Makola, for example, who's a free agent? Why can't you go and Mabena sometime? Get those people who have been there and all that, come and build a structure out of them. I know they are old, but what I'm saying is that get people who are going to make it happen for you. You understand me? Next window, they can go for that. Simple as that.
Okay. Agent, let's talk about Cape Town Spurs. Came into the league, obviously they had to play the promotional playoff. There was contract problems. The coach was given a contract a bit late. They've got old players, 8 games, no points. It's a tough run for them, and they looked good in the first half versus Pirates. Why is it that we're not seeing that Cape Town Spurs in the league?
I think firstly, this is what kills most teams, even the biggest team in terms of fan base, not the biggest team, but the biggest team in SA, loyalty. Sometimes you have to be ruthless. Look at what the Arabs did to Pito. Pito took a team from first division, took it to the Premier League, and they said, you know what, say, looking at the competition around, I don't think you'll fit here. You did well, thank you very much. We bring in an European coach. I'm not saying the European coach is better than Pito, but in that thinking, they're saying, you know what, you were able to get us to the Premier League, but here, looking at what coaches have been brought in, is better you bring a European coach, That's what they did. Sometimes that's what we lack as South Africans, that killer instinct, Ocean Bartlett is a very good coach for a championship team, but can he do it in the league? That's a different question. I think if my memory serves me well, he promoted another team and they dropped him.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Anyway, no, go on.
Yeah, and at that time, that decision was criticized, I forgot the team, but at that time, the decision was criticized, Now I look back and say, wow, the management actually got that one right, And you look at the style of play also. The style of play may well suit first division, but now you're coming against Sundowns, you're coming against Pirates, even Chiefs, who have the better quality, So you can't afford to play that kind of play. You have to adapt, you know? And also the players. The players may well be very good and have deep players, but can they compete in the Premier League? You know, hence most teams, even though we criticize them, when they get promoted, they dump players who promoted them and bring the other guys, you know? So I think that's what we've seen from past experience and we've criticized it. And I was semi-happy when I saw Ajax keeping the coach and the players. And now I look at it as like, wow, I would have gotten that wrong also. So I don't blame them.
But then the new coach, how much of a tough job is it? I mean, you guys, when Pito came in halfway through the year, you were almost in relegation times, won the league the following year. Obviously, different situations, but how hard is it to turn around a team that has that? You know, Coach Vasily spoke about how his boys seem to like, they give up after a while because they've been losing so much. How hard is it to turn around a team that is in that position?
Yeah, you know, I want to black some coach. And Gulano also, he has to be careful. One day we'll black some him also, but it's fine. So I think here's the thing. Coach Vaseline, I think I've followed him for a very long time. I think he was a coach of Zimbabwe, Botswana.
There
No,
was also
Botswana.
a
I think he was a
PSL
coach.
team, man. But there was also a PSL team somewhere where he was.
I mean
involved.
before that.
okay.
You know, I think Botswana, yes, the national team for Botswana, yes. You know, and Botswana at that time did very well, you know, and he came to PSL. I don't know if it was Richards Bay or something like that, but he was doing well. So I think Compella put it right. He said, sometimes when you are losing, are people seeing what you're losing for, or we're just losing J, you know? And last night, or whatever the time was, I could see they were losing, but I could see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you know, with Bartlett, I was seeing, this team is going straight down, you know, but at least with the new coach, I can see direction, you know, he just needs time to rebuild everything, rebuild the confidence, and I think they will fight, but now I think 8 games, 8 losses is a steep climb, but I think if there's a person other than that relegation specialist, then that white guy.
Which white guy?
No, the Kerr. There is a Daniel Kerr or something like that.
Darren. Come on, is it Darren? Anyway, yes.
That one. Except him, I think this is the right coach for them who can try and build. And also, we when grow up, we knew Ajax had Ajax chickens. I mean, machinist chickens. You know, Ajax is known for bringing out those young, exciting players from the Cape. You know, so I think they should go back to the culture and do that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank
Let me give Paris first talk about that team. I'm tired of talking about small teams. Big teams are big. You know, we're playing it in there.
We'll speak about your team. We'll come to your team. But Theo, Kaizer Spurs, they played well in the first half. They played well, man. Shame. But I did the first half.
Yeah.
But then but who went, man? They got scared and they're like, yeah. Since I mean, we've given it all. Let's go back. Is there light at the end of the tunnel for Cape Town Spurs?
For me, I can liken them to Leicester City. If you remember their superb season when they got into the Premier League, they flied, guys. They took the league, you know, and then the next coming seasons they were supposed to sell Vardy. They didn't sell Vardy. They started struggling. Boom, relegated. How can a team like that be relegated? And then you have a team here, 8 games. Not just draws, losses after losses. You know, they bring in a new coach. Guys, my problem with them is simple. They can compete, but they need a decisive team. They need players that can finish the game, you know, like they need experience. Imagine, I just checked their lineup now, or their squad team, like they only have 2 players that have been in the PSL. All the others are just new, unfamiliar territory. So, you know, poach those guys. Talk to them, negotiate. You can rather pay them 6 months, negotiate, you know. So I think for me, this coming January, they need to beef up their squad, or else they're going to end up with 5 points the whole season, which is going to be mad draws, you know. So for me, I think they are playing good, you know. It's not easy for a team like that to compete with Pirates. Pirates, there was only Undlondo and Uluban Usaling that were not there. All the other players are Pirates players, starters. Even Lodge, he was playing very good, guys. We must not take that away from him. So for them to be able to control that kind of a team, Pirates, compete compete with them, on the field of play, on open play, transition wise, and then only just to mess up at the end with that goalkeeper mistake, and then boom, Pirates now are revived. I think for me, they can compete, but they need players that have the heart. They need players that can, put the game at rest. A player that can just have a goal in them. That's what I said. Get a player that can just score you a goal in a game. Then you will better compete, because I don't think they are a bad team. I don't want to lie to you. This coach is better understanding them, but they just need to get him quality players that can finish off the game or just hold the game enough for them to win. Yeah, but not these youngsters.
But then, kunzima kanjani to turn around a team that is where Cape Town Spurs is? All the way at the bottom, no points. Ushilo no coach, the confidence was gone. There was a point where the confidence went away. How hard is it to turn that team around?
But another thing, guys, we must not confuse the league game, the cup game. The cup game, you are playing there because you want to win a game. You understand? You need to win that game to qualify to the next stage. So it's less pressure. A cup game is less pressure. A league game is like you need to consistently carry that thing, that momentum. So for me, I think in the cup, the reason why they competed with Pirates like this is because they knew if they lose, they are out. But in the league, they know they lose, they stand to be relegated. So for me, I mean, the coach, for him to say that, it kind of exposes certain elements of him. Nami, he's actually preparing in back door. If it better, guys, if you're 8 losses, so number better, but I think for him, man, it's a tough job. It's gonna be a very tough job. This guy who was coaching Marisbeck before they were relegated, if you remember, guys, we were seeing in Marisbeck, these guys, they will be relegated. They were playing nicely, but you could see they were going to relegated. So when they got relegated, we're not surprised. But for them, it's even worse. If you were to bring a coach to take over Marisbeck, you will still understand. It's okay, they are playing there. And for them, it's even worse because they are not competing at all. So for me, I don't know, like, it's a very big job for the coach, of which I doubt he's going to be able to conquer. So I think they are going to be relegated, guys. I put my head on the block. They are going to be relegated for sure.
And that time, guys, thank you to the first panel. Let me bring in the second guys. Okay, Malume Kusa, I'll give you some time as well because you came in late. Let's see. And Lord Muller was on with me, and then okay, Malume Kuto, I'm gonna speed past the Cape Town Spurs question with you. I'm gonna come into a secondary thing. Firstly, did you get a chance with the general thoughts?
No, network I'm even worried that I might just fly off.
To your general thoughts, and then secondly, KL Pirates, your team was experimenting a lot. Is it the time to experiment now? Should he just stick with the same team now that there's no CAF Champions League? Ride it up until the end of the season?
I hope everyone was sharp and all. Yeah, look, I don't think he was even experimenting. His hand was forced with going overseas, Usaleng being injured as well as Ulipasa being injured. I don't know what the story is. Sandlondlo species also coming back from Kanageng. International duty or national duty along with Umako. So there might have been precautions as well as Kanakimang Chaine as well. So it was not necessarily out of his own goodwill or willpower that he decided to put him on an experiment. It was the situation that forced him. And as we had previously predicted, and I think it's most people who had held Oguti, at some point, the new guys would somehow run out of steam, be it through form or injuries. Then we had the comfort of knowing Guti. We had Kemet Rome Rasmat on the sidelines. We had Lodge on the sidelines. We had Tim on the sidelines. People who could come in and solidify the team.
You go. All
right. First half we saw Guti. It was Santa's type of vibe. I think I'm still audible, am I?
Yeah, still here.
So first half was like Sundowns versus TS Galaxy, where a team that has the chemistry was not there. You can see the chemistry was off between the entire Wankama player, especially with Uchaini getting injured as well. But with the game progressing and Cape Town Spurs running out of fuel, we then became comfortable. I don't necessarily think we won that game because we did well, but mainly because Cape Town Spurs, they just panicked. They just panicked, and there was just one decision. You know, I don't like pointing fingers at one person. I don't think it's fair. But there was a time that the Ajax keeper, forgive me when I interchange between Ajax and Spurs, went down through cramps.
Yeah.
You
And
could
it
see
didn't
which
come
way
off.
this guy is everything. He should have came off. The game allows for a keeper to sit down, stretch himself, and tell us, can you continue? Because as that guy chased out for that ball, he could not run, which is how we got the penalty, which is how everything went south. So at that moment, maybe had they substituted the goalkeeper at that very moment, things could have turned out differently. Well, I understand. As to whether they needed to win this game, I don't think so. Maybe a loss is good, but a loss can never be good if you are on the back of 8 games. Well, I understand. So it might be a matter of let's just get our mood going, but you also at the same time, you don't want to be a Marumo Gallants where you go to semi-finals of the CAF Confederations Cup.
Then get relegated.
They won the network. Where you go to the semi-finals of the CAF Confederations Cup and you understand that's horrible. So I think you didn't ask me this, but I think what Cape Town Spurs needs is an experienced coach, a coach that walks into a change room and motivates the players mainly by walking in, not even by dishing out instructions, by just purely walking in. And at this point, if I were to suggest names, I would throw up Umshin Etrugal because that squad at Cape Town City on its own is just like Ushon Bartlett, if we're being honest. Very good for NFT, but maybe not the right match for a PSL. Because if you think about it, I think in the NFT, you can get away with Michael Morton playing as a winger.
Yeah.
Not in the PSL.
But very quickly, Monumekuso, while I still have you, very quickly, I wanna ask you as a Pirates fan, you know, we've spoken about this and touched on this a few times. How do you feel about your team being very emotional, very up and down? Like, it seems as though the moment takes hold of Pirates instead of Pirates taking hold of the moment. If the moment is high, they'll play well. Is that going to come into play during the season, especially in the league?
Look, it's already in play. If you look at it, we are sitting with an MTN 8 trophy, right? As I was trying to come up with points for a Cape Town Spurs, something that shocked me. We're sitting with the MTN 8, we're sitting with a quarterfinal berth in the Black Label Cup. We are sitting 14th in the PSL. We don't even know because we are high on these emotions that
Maraki 5 games. You win your 3 games, you'll be number 2.
That's where this issue comes in. Can we just win 3 games? Can we confidently say we can rock 3 games in a row? Next thing you know, it's a late draw against Richards Bay. Out of nowhere, Richards Bay scores last minute. And then it's a 1-0 loss to TS Galaxy. And with all the 3 games in hand, we've only secured 4 points. And we're still outside of the top 8, which is what we're going through. I mean, let's forget the 3 games. We actually have 7 points out of 5 games. That's not a good return, if you ask me. That's like 1 win and 2 draws. Oh, no, actually, it's 2 wins
and a draw. Yeah.
That's not the way to go. And then it means 2 losses. Well, I understand. So I'm quite worried because you see this thing. Now that I think about it, it's a trend throughout the team. 1 minute you have Olipasa banging goals for fun. Next he's gone. You can't even smell him in the room. Disappeared without a trace. 1 minute you have Lodge, a Pasagamnanda, Trepagamnandi. Next he's gone for like 4 months. comes back and says hello for like 3 games, and then he's gone. 1 minute you have Rato, he's the key player of the team. Next thing you hear, he's on trial. So it's very difficult, because if you look at it, that's why part of the proof is in the pudding. It's actually like that throughout with almost everyone. Even with Olisanda, we'll never know why he doesn't play and pops up. Substitution, Vincent Poules, Makesheni Makaula, Miguel team. So the inconsistencies might be not only because of mood that you call, but also the lineup, the consistency. Maybe I'm just thinking it shocks players. Which Sektuli Lemaj, and this guy has not been playing for some time. Now he doesn't know how to react to the silence stadium or consistent booing. Understand? So yeah.
Okay. Let me bring Lotmula, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, and you, buddy.
Oh, I saw you jumped off Nyana there.
Network.
Let me ask you, my brother, welcome. Firstly, what are your general thoughts about this Pirates game that was played on Friday? And then secondly, man, Pirates emotional, man, they're up and down. Some days they can score 4 goals and beat you 5-0 and play you off the park. Other games, it's tough, fans are booing. How much does this consistency play into why then the inconsistency play into why they can't challenge Koliki?
Okay. I'd like to say good day to all the panel. And yeah. So the Pirates game on Friday, I was watching it actually. So I think that's my opinion. That's what I'd like to think. I think the coach wanted to rotate players that haven't played for a very long time. Like you look at team hasn't been playing, and other players there. So because this is a cup game, and they know it's either you win or it's either you go out. So in his mind, I thought he was like, okay, I've already won a cup, you know. So let me try these players that they haven't played, so that I see if I can fit them in my starting 11. So that's why you will get the up and down of Orlando Pirates. But if you look at the first 11 that you always get for Orlando Pirates, there's a little bit of, I can say, plus minus 80 to 70% of consistency, and 70% to 80% of what we know, of what we've seen of the past games, the Pirates. So now it was just which is a core, ne?
Yeah,
So I'm thinking now it was just to say, okay, let me see if these players can challenge my first 11. You know, that's what I thought. That's why he had to switch the entire team. Because you look at Lodge, he's been injured, he hasn't been playing. So he was like, okay, let me rather put in Lodge since he's fit enough to play, and see if maybe he will take space someone else. Let me put in Team and see if he can get spaces or someone else. Let me put in who was a striker?
Erasmus
Yes, let me put Mahopa and Erasmus and see if they will challenge my first 11. You know, it was just an experiment for this one.
Mara, isn't it too late to experiment? Because he should have done this maybe before Champions League. You know, maybe I could say maybe now that there's no Champions League, shouldn't it be easier for him to just say, I want a first 11 I'm gonna play them the whole time?
Like I said, this was just to try out and see if maybe he can switch and change the normal first 11 that we know. They've already won the cup, so he's confident enough to say, you know what, let me rather try these players that haven't played, that used to play. So let me see if now they can have a challenge between the first 11 and a few couple of players that I can bring in. That's what I thought.
Okay. Let me bring in Tolani. How are you?
Okay, my brother, how are you?
No, I'm good. Tell me, Tolani, what did you see from this game, Pirates? And will this thing of Pirates, man, being up and down, is it the reason why they're not that good in the league?
Yeah, firstly, greetings to the panel, Nama Overthinkers. Yeah, it's, the way ngibona ngayo selection ya coach Pirates, I think he used this game to speed up match fitness yamanye players like ama fringe players yabo. So and that's the only game okade ngazama ngayo is like udlala nabantu abangazi bawin, not they don't even have a draw. So yona game not to say maybe ubenga experimenta ngayo, but to speed up nje match fitness and trying to build amanye combination kule game le. Yabo. So yeah, ngibona kanjalo because he can't like maybe experiment kwi-league because i-position yabo ayibavumeli and basasele nangama-game. So the only measure engenza ngayo le selection le yange-weekend iyona le against i-team engakazi iwin. Uyangithola? Yeah.
Manje ngitshele, how do you feel about mangithi mina i-Pirates is still too much of an emotional team ngokuthi if they're up but mangakora 1 or 2 they could score 4 or 5, but then if you frustrate them like Stellenbosch ngakhona the match before that the Sundowns, if you frustrate them ngathi iskoti man, now they go down and they don't play. What do you say to that?
Maybe I'll say maybe the players that they're not used to be booed by their own fans. I'll say that because I think most of the players like I'm a game Pirates, they rely too much to their fans with about uplift. So Umate against one, then now they tend to go down. So I think ama games ama cool, but kuzobasiza ukuthi basheshe bawadlala. It was unfortunate ukuthi bangakwazi qualify for i-Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League.
Basasekhona kodwa ngithi kwi-Confederation.
Abekho basekhaya. Basekhaya.
Yes, hey. I was hoping ngizohamba nabo.
Basekhaya badlala la eMzansi.
Hey, bese ngisho ukuthi bayithole ningi leyo experience leyo ish. Hey, better next time.
No, thank you. Let me go to Mtanen. You're inside, my brother. You're in.
Mtana.
Yeah, what a network how is doing this, man.
Mfethu ucabanga got two Wi-Fi, bro. Got two Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. Connected this side, yeah, connecting that side.
I'm gonna ask you two questions.
Greetings to the panels, Mfethu. You know, I'm always.
I'm gonna ask you two questions. Number one, what are your general thoughts about what Pirates did on Friday? And then number two, man, Pirates, they don't know how to play.
I'm seeing this guy now, Ari.
It's up and down.
I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, I can hear you. What do you think of those two questions? Network. Okay, Taneli, try the other one. I'm gonna let you back in, but try the other one. Streets, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, Mr. Uti. How are you, sir?
No, I'm okay, my brother. Tell me. I've got two questions for you. Your general thoughts about the Pirates game on Friday. And then secondly, Pirates for me is an emotional team. They play high-paced and fast, but they struggle when they can't play that game. And sometimes it feels as though even the fans struggle and everything goes down. Will that have an impact on when they're playing in the league and the consistency in the league?
Okay. I want to address the point of people what experimentation. I don't think Jose is experimenting. I just think he, like Mr. Malume Kuto said, he's forced to be in that situation because the players are not available. But if you watch the formation, it's still the same. He doesn't change tactics necessarily. He just changes the players that are playing. So in that aspect, I don't think he's changed. Plus, if Mfokeng is out, then you can bring in Lodge because Lodge is more or less like for like. He can play in tight areas. So I don't think at that part he was experimenting. And in terms of being emotional, they remind me a lot of Liverpool, man. Before they started winning, that 2017 team where they could beat big teams, no problem. They would beat Man City, but then they would lose to a Burnley or lose to some stupid team. Usually, they just don't understand what's going on. I feel that's what Pirates are. They still lack the consistency, and I like it when Jose plays the same lineup every time because these players need to, and these players, you need to have a first team lineup that you know that at least you can get them to build that consistency. They get used to playing with each other. The game yesterday, you can see those players are not used to playing with each other. That's why you find that you tend to have then inconsistent results because players are not used to each other. There's no rhythm, there's no combinations. You can see they're still trying to figure it out. But then if you have a team that is already used to playing like that, then you can have more consistent performances.
And do you think that Jose will be able to create a situation where, what you use the example of a club? Do you think he can create a situation where Pirates is creating their own energy instead of feeding from external places?
I mean that is just down to them. I think he can. I mean, they have a really good team. There's no doubt about that. The team is good. So from that team alone should be able to pretty much decide games on their own without needing external help. But obviously the fans do play a role eventually. But I still think that team is good enough to take Sundowns all the way. They should no reason why they shouldn't take Sundowns all the way.
Okay. Taneli, are you back with me? Hey, network,
Done.
ikenzani network?
Phela sekuthenga idatha-ke no, sekuthenga idatha for analysis mfethu, uyabona, for analyze.
Yeah, ungena ke ngitshele ukuthi
The way we love
analyze
sport
uyibona
mfethu is
njani?
gonna be the end of us.
Uyibona njani le game? Uyibone njani?
Let's just get on it to quick and short. Greeting to the panel. No, ngiyakuzwa bra, ngikuzwa. All right. Greeting to the panels. Yes, thank you so much. First of all the thought has been shared, bro. I think they're making sense and they're making the honesty to us as fans. But let me just go to the Pirates quickly. I think the coach, he's one of the clever coaches that are in the PSL. He is very, very smart. What I like about him is he's not afraid of defeat. And what is he building? He trusts the process. I think sometimes Pirate fans are not being fair because we demand a lot in a very short space of time. The guy has done exceptionally well. But the fact that in terms of the consistency, he will definitely struggle. Reason why? You can tell there are some patches that still need to be fixed. Whereby there are careless mistakes that of which result into the team not gelling very, very well. This is why when you're frustrating them, they're playing Gaga one way. So if the Pirates can dominate, let me just pick you an example. If Pirates can dominate a game, got the 1-2s every time, sharing the ball, rotating the ball all over the field, that is how they play. So in the last 10 matches of league game last season, I think we won all those matches because we were playing that kind of football. Most teams, they were frustrated because they wanted points and Pirates was dominating them on the field. As soon as they get tired, they 70, 71. Then we strike, we score 2-3 goals, you understand? So in this case now, all the teams are settled and everyone is playing for a draw or a win. So they are frustrating us in terms of getting a draw out of us. So what I can say is, I think Jose, he realized with his team, they've mastered Ndlelebu's marker. So now he's trying to find another way of playing. Should plan A not work, he can play with a plan B. And that one cannot be a job that's going to be done overnight. It can be something that can take longer or some time. Why I'm saying this, if you look at Sundowns, they're playing one way. They won this weekend, they might win tomorrow, but they don't have plan B basically in terms of how do we play. Should plan A be conflicted? Mauti Abuga Mfeti Pirate, I think in the next coming 2-3 months, we're gonna see a different team altogether, whereby whether it's plan A or plan B, or team A, team B playing, we're gonna have a very strong team that's gonna win so many things. At this point, Cardi Cup's games, he has a system that is working for him. But for the league, I think it's gonna struggle a bit because if you check Stellenbosch, Pirates against Stellenbosch, it's a nice game. It's a very good game to watch because Stellenbosch rotate the ball as Pirates. Going to Sundowns match, they're playing the similar football. They're rotating the ball very nice. But going Bopolo one, they're gonna pack the bus. Does Pirates know how to break when the bus is packed? No. Answer is no. That is when now you're gonna start losing points. And I think as soon as the coach found a very good rhythm out of that, surely Pirates will dominate the league. But it cannot happen the way we want it and the way sooner we want it. All we need to do is let him find a way. Let him find a way in terms of how to deal with different teams in different aspects. Like if you take a game like Cape Town City, they've already lost a match this weekend. Eric Tinkler is under pressure. If we're playing against Eric, he's gonna pack the bus at the back, and we're gonna have a problem. So at this point and at this stage, I think individual brilliance, that is where it's gonna come in. Let me make an example. Taking Uratomo, that boy is very good. But Ratomo compared to Lodge, can Ratomo win us a game? Ratomo can play the team player. Then Lodge can use his experience and he's brilliant in terms of winning us games. You understand? That is like for like players. But let me just make this example to you. Going back to from Epalini, we go to China, now we go to Bucheles. Fans are trusting Bucheles. Bucheles will do well. The guys deserve to get a chance. Looking at the progress guy China from where he was before compared to where he is now, there's a huge difference. You understand? And just to throw Bucheles deep in the deep end, we are killing him as fans. But it's because we feel like he deserves to play. Yes, he deserves to play. Is he ready for it? Yes or no? You understand? Coming back to backline, we go to Nda, we go to CBC, we go to Kogi. At this stage, me as a player, whether Kogi, Nda, CBC, one of them is not playing, I'm comfortable because we get to, I believe they can all do the job. Going to Mayela, going to Marco, they can do the job. Going to Umonyan and Chando, they can do the job. And then
isn't the problem, Guti, Pirates Iafan? It's all like for like. So like you're saying, okay, maybe in the back end that gives you a little bit of a difference. Maybe Tim Makaula Bafana. Up front, you've spoken about Umfukeng, no Lodge. Maybe Bafana, but maybe Lodge gives you a little bit more. But isn't the problem that Pirates is constructed in a way where a lot of the players is the same player, just a different name? Shouldn't he have different guys that can come in and give you something different? Tandeni, can you still hear me? Oh, network. Well, I'll come back, Mtanda. I'll come back. Just let me know when you're back in. Lord Muller, Pirates versus Richards Bay is the next game in the quarterfinals for Pirates. So what do you think of this game? And what do you think of the other draws? Is Pirates still going to take this whole tournament?
Well, I think Pirates will cruise nicely. I don't think it has too much competition on the teams that are left. A lot of people on the panel they think that the coach wasn't experimenting. I feel that he was experimenting. Okay. Already he knows his first level. Some of the players went to play against Ivory Coast. So you just rest them and you try something new. So that's why I'm saying on this one, on the last game that Pirates played, I feel like he was just giving them, yes, he was giving them game time, but do you just choose to give people game time or are you forced to? He was forced to. And he needed to see if, let's say most of those players were injured, what was he going to do? Automatically he's left with the team that was playing against Cape Town Spurs. So he just needed to see if I can be able to use those players, whether my players are there or whether my first 11 it's not there. So this was just an experiment, and it's the only game where he could experiment. Because at this point, you cannot experiment on a league game. Look at Sundowns; they way too far. So what he's trying to do, we are trying to catch up with Sundowns. But on the cup games, let me experiment with this because I've already won a cup. So even if I go out on the Black Label Cup, the fans won't be that mad because just 2 weeks back I've already won a cup. So let's just try and experiment. But I don't think they have that too much competition with all the teams that's left. I think they will cruise nicely.
Okay. Let me see. Let me go to Ukola and I'll come back to Mtandeni last. Mtoba, tell me, when you're looking at Richards Bay versus Pirates and you're looking at the rest of these draws, Kukune versus Chess Galaxy, Amazulu, Golden Arrows, Polokwane, Stellenbosch, is it still Pirates' tournament to take? And do you think that they're going to walk over Richards Bay?
It's Pirates' cup to lose. I still regard as Pirates as my favorite, though. And I wish it won't be a walk over or a walk in the park against Richards Bay. With the performance they put this past weekend, and when they played compared to their last games, I think they played very well against the Swallows. And I also think Kubas is to exclude Ubani. There's this other guy that is Lalagui. No. I think Ubudalagui Richards Bay, but Ubudala like he left wing.
Okay, Sizamfuna.
Yeah. I think Singan or something. Yeah.
Okay.
To exclude him, I think the Gubani is like Ikeme rights. Yeah, going forward, if Angisbati, you are only as good as your last game. If they could put the performance this past weekend, I think this is going to be a tight game, but I don't see Pirates losing against them.
Mara Pirates can play a low block, and you know, Caetano Tembo's going to get there and he's going to play the lowest of blocks.
Yeah, but I still think Utito is gonna find answers for them because he knows how to play in my pockets, like about him and Mofoken. I think they've got more quality players who can play in patch like who can play in Sihu.
Inside spaces.
Spaces and short spaces, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll struggle much, but most of like against a low block team, they don't shine that much as compared to Abantu Abadlala with the high line because they've got speedy players. But,
Okay.
Yeah. That's my take.
Let me see. Pumindoveni, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing here. Really helps. It really helps. Shout out to you. Streets, another low block. Another Caetano Tembo low block in the next round. Jose struggles a lot versus the low block. He said it himself. How do you see this game panning out versus Richards Bay? How do you see the rest of the people that made it through? Is it still Pirates' tournament to lose?
Okay, wait, Mr. Uchi, I want to ask. When you say Lord Muller mentioned that experimentation, what is experimentation? Like, okay, for you, if you were to say a manager experiments, how would you define an experiment?
I think from my point of view, if I look at Pirates, the first X amount of games that they played, let's say the first 5 or 6 games they played, everything ran through deep line Gondlo. They didn't have a defensive midfielder. Erasmus was on the bench as well as Umahopa. They had a front 3 that was playing very well, and the 10 was doing something different. Then the last 2 games they played with Erasmus and striker, whether it be Lepasa and Mahopa now, they've played Tim where there's a defensive midfielder. And then in the last game on Friday, Nda was more of a playmaker because they didn't necessarily have somebody in the midfield to play as Undlondo does. So I'd say he's experimented in how the team attacks, especially up in the front. And he's realized that he doesn't have cover for the defense, so Tim has come in. So for me, I would say that's experimentation, I guess, in that regard. But then, yeah, it's not too crazy, but trying out of Omahopa, having them come in, Erasmus starting the last 2 games, Tim playing the last 2 games, and Da coming in full time. I'd say that's a bit of experimenting.
Okay, but if you have forced injuries, does that count as experimentation? Because he has literally no choice. To me, if I was to define experimenting, is what Pep did against Arsenal, where he played with no wingers. He told Foden and then who's that guy, and Alvarez to come inside, and then he was just doing something. Normally, with Man City, they play with the wingers out wide. It's always look the way. But then this time, he tells them to come inside, and then everything was just congested in the middle. To me, that's experimentation, when you change your way of playing because you want to beat the other team, not necessarily changing personnel because of the players that are not available to you. I think if Ndondo was fit, Ndondo was going to play still. But then if he's not fit, then you have to play Tim. You don't have a choice. So I don't think he's necessarily experimenting, because even when I watch them, they play the same way. The fullbacks will always go up. Unless if now we start seeing maybe the fullbacks are more reserved, they stay back. Then maybe now he plays with 1 CDM and he has 2 8s, like how Arsenal play with Man City. Then I would say probably he's experimenting. But when I watch Pirates play, it's the same way. They use they still use the same fullbacks. Udloch will come inside. Same play. I don't see the difference there on that part.
I think for me the big difference is just that Erasmus Mahopa thing. I think the way that he was playing 10 before was that he'd have Umfukeng and Tito play there, and then Monare on the other side. So now he's got 2 players centrally that don't necessarily come back for the ball. So if he was gonna play the same way, I'd probably say Kim Vuidi comes in. Yeah, Kim Vuidi comes in instead of Erasmus or Mahopa. You'd have one of Erasmus or one of Mahopa and play Kim Vuidi, and maybe Paloni in the Ndondo role, But like you say, it could be injury induced. I don't know, but yeah, it's made a bit of changes. Long balls from Da to Lodge. We never saw that much because BC and Toki don't have that in their pockets.
CBC plays a lot of long balls. CBC is very direct, guys. The amount of diagonal balls that they play to the wingers, Pirates.
If Ndondo's not there.
No, I disagree on that point.
Ndondo's first choice. To collect the ball, Ndondo's first choice. They even fight with Chain because Ndondo throws back too far. They were fighting the past 3 games that he played.
Okay, Mr. Uti, I want to disagree on that aspect. The center backs, most of the time, especially if teams just sit back, the center backs have a lot of time on the ball. They play a lot of diagonal balls. Like, I think Pirates are the most direct. If I would compare Pirates and Sundowns, I would say they're the most direct. They don't mind hitting those long balls into the spaces. If you watch CBC, I don't know, Dstv doesn't show previous games. But if you watch CBC and Toki, they play a lot of diagonal balls to whoever's on the wing. It can be the fullback, it can be the wing back. So on that part, and also on the Munara part, for me, Munara is a 6. I don't think he's an 8. I don't think that's how Jose is using him. Because to me, if I was to define an 8, it would be a De Bruyne role. That guy that type of player, Odegaard. That for me is a 6. And Munara is never you don't see Munara in the box. He doesn't go into the box.
He goes wide. He goes wide to Saleng's side. Usually.
Yeah, but that is to facilitate. That is to facilitate the rotations, because until Pirates play positional play, so you need combination, you need like triangles to at least to break down defenses. So you will see that Monara will then move to that side to try to help out to create that triangle or diamond, whatever they're doing on the wing. I don't necessarily think he's an 8. Like, I don't think because he's never in the box. If he's an 8, then you would see him in the box. Murray is really ever in the box. If you watch
hardly in the 6. That's how Pirates concedes, because Ndondo's usually alone and then they win the ball high up from Ndlondo, no help. Then they go and face CBC and Koki, who are usually alone who are usually also alone. Munara is also never in the six. He's hardly ever. Ndlondo is alone usually when they play early in the season. Always alone with Ndlondo carrying the ball.
Okay, but what tends to happen, right? If Munara then moves onto the other side to try to Sterling's side and try do the combination, then either Umako, Paseka Marco, or Otto has to tuck inside in the midfield to cover that space
But
for
they're also
Munara.
gone. That's why Ndlondo always gets caught out.
That's the problem then. It's not necessarily Munara who's the problem, is that the other guys are not covering the space that Munara is leaving because the team has to shift one side. So either Otto or Marco has to then come into the midfield to protect that area. So I don't think he's an 8. I don't think that's how Jose is using him. I just think he's a 6. But then because maybe when you're watching him, he's more adventurous.
He's
that's why
never at the back. Munare, maybe now with Tim, but he's never at the back. At the beginning of the season, I was saying that maybe Tim should play with Ndlondo so that Ndlondo has cover. Because, in the beginning of the season, Ndlondo was being caught out so many times alone.
But the thing is, Ndlondo is a very good deep-lying player. Ndlondo is not a player for the half spaces. Ndlondo is a player when he has time and can pick passes like from deeper areas. I think that's where he's most effective, and I think those is utilizing that strength of Ndlondo because he knows that Ndlondo can unlock the pass. No one at that Paris team has a pass like Ndlondo. West Party then playing a team with a low block. And then if you have Ndlondo in deeper areas where he can spray those passes, then you're utilizing him to his best effects, I think.
No, we're going to have this chat properly. I've been saying we need to have this chat properly. But for time's sake, guys, I'm gonna thank the panel that's on. And then we have to move on to the last thing. Something, guys. I want to give Masandawana a little something. Lord Muller, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing. I want to give Masandawana a little something. Let's talk a little bit about this African Football League. And let's start by hearing from Coach Rulani on what he thought of some of this. Shout out again to Dstv fans on YouTube. Please, guys, follow Dstv fans. They're the ones that do the hard yards and go and get us these press conferences. So let me go to that, and then we'll come back and have a chat about the Sundowns in the AFL.
Treinador do Sundowns, Rulani Mukwena, coach, welcome.
Boa noite.
I don't know if I want to say, what's your first, Rulani Mukwena?
Congratulations to...
I want to say well done, but yeah, you did well.
Boa noite.
So what's your first take on the first 90 minutes? Because you still have another 90 minutes.
Boa noite a todos. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. You wanna?
No.
Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns, and we beat a very, very good side with very good organizational forms. Very difficult to deal with the overloads that they create.
Boa noite a todos. Penso que ganhamos uma boa equipa, difícil de bater, difícil de romper a sua organização defensiva principalmente.
I gave you the lineup in the pre-match press conference.
Ontem na conferência de imprensa diante do
Oh, sorry.
But a good team, and got to give great compliment to our players for an excellent shift and tactically being very, 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 very good.
Mas é uma boa equipa e por isso tenho que parabenizar os meus rapazes porque taticamente cumpriram com aquilo que era a nossa estratégia para este jogo.
First half not so good from us. We struggled a little bit, but a fantastic second half and incredible compliments to the group of players for their adaptations and an incredible performance throughout.
Reconheço que tivemos uma primeira parte difícil, mas uma segunda parte bem melhor e devo parabenizar os meus jogadores por isso, porque bateram-se muito bem na segunda parte. Perguntas? Começo lá, depois aqui, o Jorge, depois o Chival, depois o Walter, nesta ordem.
Igor de Andrade, do Copa em campo, gostava de perguntar ao professor Romário Coelho como é que avalia o desempenho do Peter, sendo que o Peter tem apenas 4 jogos oficiais contra possivelmente 15 jogos do Mamelodi Sundowns. Ainda assim.
3 matches. How do you evaluate Petro's performance, looking at the fact, judging from the fact that they only had before this 3 matches into the new season against the number of matches that Sundowns has played?
Fortunately or unfortunately, it is not my responsibility to judge the performance of the opposition.
Infelizmente ou felizmente não é minha responsabilidade avaliar a performance do meu adversário.
Out of respect for a colleague, a coach, because that's his job, and I've got to respect that.
Portanto, por respeito ao meu colega, porque este é o trabalho dele.
But also because this is only half time and there's a second leg that's still to come.
Mas também porque esta é só a primeira parte, ainda falta a segunda. Jorge.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there so that we can speak about this match. Hey, Smamele is the Amanyama language, guys, from elsewhere. Meanwhile, Tinangazi Guti Unseki, when is he going to be speaking French and all of that stuff? But anyway, guys, let's talk about a little bit about this match. Obviously, if you don't know, Mamelodi Sundowns is playing in the African Football League. Mamelodi Sundowns is the African Football League is the Super League. 8 teams, 8 of the biggest teams: Al Ali, Simba, TP Mazembe, Enyimba, Petro de Luanda, Sundowns, and Al Ali are taking part in that competition. So they won this game in Angola versus Petro de Luanda, who you'll remember also got beaten by Kaizer Chiefs 2 years ago. I just wanted to mention that. While we speak about that, Sundowns managed to win 2-0 in the first leg. Then the second leg game is going to be played tomorrow at Loftus Versfeld. So we'll see how that goes. For the interest of time, let me open up and let the Sundowns fans come in and they can speak about, yes, Esperance, they can speak about their team, because Lena, I want to give them something, man. Let them have a little bit of the shine now, guys. Let me just let people in. Agent 007, did you hear your boy? They were trying to give themselves some problems now. Who cares? Good, they've only played 3 games. Who cares? But anyway, what did you think of this game that you guys played versus Petro de Luanda?
He speaks French also. I didn't know. He's a man of many talents. He's a model.
Maybe it's like he speaks it too. It's just that he doesn't have the chance, man.
When will he ever get the chance? But anyways, let's talk big boy stuff now. I think Wabuditeo was saying something very interesting, that for me, this was a very, very important game for Urulani, because he is on a losing streak. We are not used to, we're not like other teams, we're not used to this kind of thing.
Hey, man.
We are not, and here's the thing. Mangoba drew 5 games and lost in 10-8 final, and you're shown the book. So I was wondering if Rulani gets kicked out of the AFL in this first stage, what is going to happen now? Because then it would raise questions. What is good for Mangliti must be good for Rulani, And for this game, I must give him credit. I think that's why I said even earlier in the earlier panel that we as fans should not be turned into disciples. We should criticize, but we should also applaud. We shouldn't be blindfolded and be put, but anyways, go there. So I think for this game, Petro is kind of like our hoodie team. They came out of the blocks. They were interesting. I was surprised, bit surprised with the lineup. I expected Azula to start. I don't know why he hasn't started. He's always the Brazilian is always a tricky player to play against. And again, Umvala, a 9 out of 10 performance, but gives a penalty away. Umaseko, I think maybe Maseko will be effective in Africa because in Africa they don't know who Maseko is. In South Africa they know, just guide him towards the line. You'll go out. In Africa they don't know how speed is, so they wanted to play a high line with Maseko on. So he easily beat the offside trap, and his goal was what I expect from a Sundowns player: around the keeper and score.
Okay.
He wasn't that rash. Obviously, as the game went by after scoring, he went back to default settings. The Maseko we all know and hate, but it's fine.
But
And
tell me,
yeah.
the game, how much, because up to this point in the season, Sundowns has been playing a very African type of game in the PSL. And Abu Kevin Hunt have always said that the PSL is faster than when you go to Africa. Do you think that work that Rulani is doing will pay off in the AFL and in the CAF Champions League, where it's the type of game where you will get 2-0, it's grinded out results? They've been practicing in the PSL for that. And do you think that's why Bomasego might be a little bit more effective in Africa?
Yeah, and like, I don't know what this analyst watched. I was surprised that AB went 90 minutes without getting a yellow card. I was like, what do these coaches watch, when they're analyzing? And for me, I think last year's CAF was ours to lose, and we lost it because of Rulani's stubbornness. Our diamond tiki-taka ball was doing just fine. We went to Egypt. We dominated Al Ali. We went to Wydad. We dominated them in Casablanca. And here in the critical phase, when he was meant to defend, he wanted to play pretty football. And I think he learned from that, because once we went 2-0 up, I saw him making changes and bringing Okoti, bringing Oko Terence, bringing Uli Bruce. I was like, that's what the coach has to do. We're 2-0 up. We don't need to go further and further and further. It's fine. Let's consolidate. So I think he has learned. And I think when you go against maybe a tougher position, I don't want us to go for grind. I think we should go for the grind of results when it is necessary. But we should dominate them like we dominated them last season. If it comes to it and we're facing Al Ali, and it's Al Ali as a funny man, it's just an okay team. But if they come up out of the blocks, yes, we've done good practice of trying to learn how to defend. So yeah, maybe it'll work.
Okay. Mildo, welcome to the show. How are you? Mildo? I see the mic is on, but I'm not getting anything. Okay, Mildo, I'm going to come back. I'm going to mute you for now. I'm going to come back. Mhlave, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks, Oti. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Masikhuluma ngeteam yakho yabona ngiyanika isikhathi.
I know you had to. I mean, we're representing the country.
Representing that down.
Yeah.
That you guys played versus Petro, and with the work that you are doing to play this football, working in Africa.
Yeah, man. Let me first maybe say a job well done to the organizers of AFL. It was a good first round with all the four games that played. I watched the game Simba in Al Ahly before our game that played on Friday. Very, very, very entertaining game, because my only interest there to see which team is going to play us in the semi-final, because the winner there is gonna play us. But yeah, a very interesting game with goals. It had everything, and then the VAR also it's helping in this competition. But yeah, coming back to our game on Saturday, I thought Petro had a very, very, very good first half. I mean, we were flat. Ronza saved us on that first 45 minutes. I mean, that penalty save, double save, and also this is a save that he made before the penalty. Had the guy score that penalty, we'll be talking something different now. I thought my man of the match, it was Ronwell Williams. It was 10 out of 10 performance there. Second half we came, and then we managed to score the goal. The goal that we score, you can tell that it was cooked goal, calling knockout. The Mkulise, Mendieta, and Allende, those guys were rewarded the first starting lineup from that midweek game, Carling Cup. So I'm happy to see Mkulise back in the starting lineup. He had a decent game. Also Mendieta, I was happy to see him play. I was disappointed with Ushikapala. He had a quiet game, but then also he was playing out of position. But then it's Umshishi. We expect him to play everywhere where he's deployed to play. But then second half was good. The second goal by Maseko as well. Happy for Serino. He's raising his hand. I think he's putting everything behind him. Coming back to play soccer. The Serino that we fell in love with is coming back. I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy for Maseko as well, because he was getting it from the Sundowns fans. But then I'm happy. Let's hope he will take that performance and then take it forward to the next game. But it was very good second half. Us we scored a very two crucial away goal, whereby they're gonna help us tomorrow in coming to Loftus. But it should be interesting. I'm happy with Rulani, his tactics. I think they work second half. But come second leg, I think we should win the game comfortably. So, but I'm happy,
Do you
man.
think that the work that Rulani did, we've been saying, Guti, you guys have been playing African football, the PSL, and maybe that's why when we're watching it, we look at it and we say, it's ugly, Sundowns is beatable. But now when you get into Africa, it seems to be effective.
Yeah, no, it is. Guys, to be honest, PSL is holding us back, guys. No, man, no. It's really holding us back. Watch the game we played up against Pedro. You would swear that this is not the Sundowns that we know. The level of football that is played in Africa, guys, it's very top there. So you can tell with this Super League what the guys are trying to do there. But Rulani is Rulani, man. Give Rulani his flowers, guys. He's a master technician. The guy loves football, man. Yeah. So we will see tomorrow, OT. But then, we like it or not, we were representing the country. The commentators were saying the South African club. And not to say it was a sweet revenge. Remember what they done to us 2021. So we haven't done with them. We need to make sure that we will kill the game tomorrow. But sweet revenge, we kill it tomorrow.
2021, man. Who beats 2021? Just
no, you fluked them. So there's a difference between beating them and fluking the opponent.
Kiyo, makasitshelike Petro, sishayile man. Makasitshelike Petro.
Safiak final. Oh.
Theo, what did you think of this game, Sundowns and Petro? And then also, do you think that that Rulani has been persisting with Lagu PSL? It's showing that it's going to be effective when it comes to Africa.
Yeah, Gakulu. Agent 007 should be called Double Agent 007. I love what he said about Masego, guys. Guys, it's football, man. Hey, just listening to these coaches, it will encourage you, especially Rulani, guys. This guy will encourage you to really love football. Yeah, boy. And it's so nice. It's so nice to see what they do, guys. Like, I was here watching the game, guys. Angithi besibhizi sitshontsha ngapha nangapha, but
Yeah.
yo, guys, I watched first half of that team before ngizovuka le Pirates yakhona. Ebeyidlala, guys, the Petro were on top of Sundowns. For the first time, I saw Sundowns struggling. Abozwane, Alende, nowhere to be seen. Mukwena was even worse. I think they had them on the rocks, and even Mudau couldn't even, be effective. But second half, Rulani, guys. Like, what I love about Rulani is not just the fact that he can motivate players, but also he can see the game from a distance. He can analyze the game. When he brought in Abu Masego, you could see now, okay, now he's using different angles to try and penetrate Pedro. And when he did that, because they were playing high line, when he did that, guys, he became very effective. And I agree with, I think it's our agent, when he said, oh man, I think Umindlos who said Mdlava, like Uban goalkeeper should have became man of the match. Yeah, guys. He saved Sundowns. I wonder what we're saying. Do this thing with Sundowns in the Premier League. Make the goalkeeper become man of the match. Make us come and say here, Gucci, if Ronan was not in that post, they would have lost. If we can have that mindset, then we know, Gucci, Sundowns can be beatable. You watch that game, you saw with Sundowns, they won because they fought for the game and for the goals. And one thing that I want to say, they say Sundowns is training with PSL. I agree that there's lack of competition, and it's true. We cannot run away from that. But truth be told, if they cannot dominate now as much as they dominate here, it still shows good. There are certain elements of their game that they still need to improve in. Because imagine if it was just a one-leg game and Petro beat them, it would have been a different thing. Yabo. If Petro were able to beat them, if they scored that penalty and they just became consistent at the back and not just play Highland, because I think they did that because they wanted to win the game. They were pressing Sundowns, but not for forgetting good Sundowns. Guys, Sundowns is very effective. I love what you said. Don't just play the game for the fun of it. Be effective. And another thing that you always mention, AB with cards. It's like if I'm a team PSL, guys, they can't see good AP is actually a weakness at Sundowns. Come on, you can't tell me that.
No, I hear you. Let me go to Agent. Agent, I can say, what type of licenses did we do in order to see Horiman? AB is the problem, because it seems, look at Africa, they don't see that, man. Sundowns. But anyway, how do we feel about this AFL competition? We spoke about it previously, and the merits, the pros and the cons of this tournament. How do we feel about it after that first round?
Yeah, no, guys, I'm being called a double agent for being honest. People don't like honesty. I'm like, you go Brooks, you guys don't like honesty, but I think I want to correct something quickly. Here's the thing. I think it's an awkward position that AB is playing, it's an awkward position because he's naturally not a left wing. He's a center back. But, I think we saw his impact when we took him out against TS Galaxy. He is a good progressor of the ball. He may not know how to defend against the counter press. He falls a lot. I think that's where he's lacking. But in terms of technical ability, in terms of playing, he makes us stick on that left-hand side. He reminds me of Alex Kut, Ricardo Nascimento. Those are players which are slow, but they can read the game and they can intercept. And they can pass the ball. I think if Nascimento or Alex Kut played where AB's been played, they're going to get the same fouls that he's getting. So I think he's... I would say Mbobo Gonzalez, not AB. But let me go to your question. I think it kind of exceeded my expectations. I was like, just another Kev, Kev light, but I got the atmosphere there. I watched a bit of TP Mazembe here and there. I didn't finish the game. I fully watched the opening ceremony of Simba. And I was like, okay. Or maybe because my team is participating, but I could feel the excitement, So I think there was excitement there for me. I think they just have to tighten a few things, and it would be nice to say the biggest teams are playing in a league. Let's forget about rivalries aside. Imagine Chiefs, Pirates. Okay, maybe next season I want to take two, maybe Sundowns and Pirates, or maybe Sundowns, Pirates, Chiefs, competing against the best teams. They may not necessarily be doing well, but they are the biggest teams. So it is nice to say Al Ahly Chiefs played.
By the way, did you hear what Motsepe said? He changed his role. He used to say these are the best teams in Africa. Then he started saying the best, the biggest, the most. He's trying to open the door. I told you guys already, there's a door that he's trying to open because that's the best way for it to make financial sense.
No, like, to be honest with you, say what you may about Chiefs. We know what Chiefs columns are, but Chiefs is the most supported team in Southern Africa, not just Southern Africa, Southern Africa, and among the biggest in Africa. So, by hook or by crook, they must be there in Super League, even though they're going to add numbers, but they must be there, So I think that would be the beauty of it, that in as much as it's going to be unfair on the likes of Abo Gallant, Abo Supersport and stuff like that, but just Chiefs and Al Ahly meeting, not once in 10 years, just it would be nice. I think I'm warming up for that again. I don't like to after those first round of games. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I just want to clear something. This is what I'm saying about AB. He's a great player, but he will always get more fouls than he needs to. He will always be caught off guard by the press. He'll always be caught off guard by pacey players. What I'm saying is, when you're studying a team, I can tell you Chiefs' weaknesses. I can tell you Pirates' weaknesses to a degree. I can tell you Sundowns' weaknesses. All I'm saying is that we see it. Like when I see AB, for the past, I don't know how many games that he started and played, we've said the same thing. AB gets uncomfortable, he'll get yellow cards, right? Why not push him to get a red card? In the game versus Chiefs, the first one, Rulani was screaming at him because Dupree was killing him on that side to the point where they had to take him off. So I'm like, guys, they've got here's the weakness. Sundowns doesn't have many weaknesses. There's the weakness. Exploit the weakness or just lose the game. And all of these teams that we're speaking about have lost games where Sundowns defense will all have yellow cards. And I don't know, guys, maybe I'm old school. Maybe Tina, we played football a long time ago. Our coaches used to tell us, hey, now umuntu ne yellow card, mlande. So if AB every game, Boma 40, 50 minutes, yellow card, every game, exploit the weakness. But yeah, we'll see. Mijo, how do we feel about the African Football League? Theo, how do we feel about this African Football League?
Okay, I was boycotting it, if you remember, vele bengayifunda totile because asikho thina so sinyanyiswa nje Sundowns this, Sundowns that. But looking at these past few games, especially Sundowns, guys, because okay, it's not easy. Kumo once said this thing, when you are a Sundowns supporter, no. But when it comes to Africa, guys, man, we must give them what they deserve, guys. So for me, watching them, I think it's going to be a very good competition for them. Actually, it's going to perfect them to win CAF Champions League, I promise you. They are going to learn from AFL mistakes, because I know they are going to make mistakes. But with Champions League, that's where they're going to perfect everything. Because you remember last time with Champions League, they were Kishwa just by those minor mistakes, about Charlie making unnecessary fouls. But now they are going to perfect beating our teams, Afana Abu Al Ahly. Imagine having to play Al Ahly twice, AFL, and then having to go and play them twice, good Champions League. There's no way they are going to beat them all the time. So it's going to be the advantage Kurulan, because he understands how to analyze and pick point among mistakes on my team. But I think overall it's gonna be it's a good competition. But also I think next time they need to just envelope it, bring in maybe 8 or maybe 16 teams or 32. just to make it more interesting, you know. Babuthe naloku kungathi kunama-chips phansi yabo, just to make it more interesting, man. Now, like guys, it's not like they will win it. We know they're not gonna win it, but you know, I think at a higher level, it's a bigger stage. You know, teams like Pirates and Chiefs, guys, they hold a very big stage. Chabo Zamalek, you know, Raja Casablanca, they are teams that we know. Good, you know, they are very good. So giving them an opportunity to come and compete, even though we know they are not gonna go very far, it will be very good for the competition. But let me just summarize in the AP. Guys, we're not saying AP is playing in the right position or feel. What we're saying is exactly, I love the way that you said, target him because you know he's in the wrong position. It's not his original position. Make him make mistakes. Force him to make mistakes. As even though he can even play center backs. I remember Pirates, this guy, we even said this. Allen had the yellow card. I counted, I think 3 or 4 players who had yellow cards. Target them. Push Allen. They even said this, you know these players about overseas. Push him, boss him off the ball. He's gonna get angry, he's gonna push you, retaliate, he gets a second yellow card, they get the red card. But if you do not use
Nomdao does the same thing.
But yes, so we're not saying AP because he too feel, no. We're saying because he gets cut, target him to make a red card. Simple. Football.
Mina ngisazi ngoba thina abakhoshi bethu used to tell you ukuthi abona lo akakwazi ukukrepa. Yenza so or yenza so. Yeah. But it's fine, Belile, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Hey, mtakababa kunjani?
No, right. Firstly, thank you for subscribing on YouTube.
Oh, hayi ngizengenza njalo baba. Angithi yakhumbula ngokubuza ukuthi hey, kahle kade siyakuphi la. Manje ngithi yazi phela hey. Sometimes lento zesilungu lezi zinokuxaka nje kancane. Uvela ubone ngathi imali yakhe izohamba.
Hayi, mara ngibongile Belile. Tell me, Belile, let's speak about this Sundowns. Okay, let's say I'm going to ask you for your general thoughts about the Sundowns and what they played, and then the secondary question is going to be.
Kahle.
Yeah.
Right wena, when right to show.
Exactly right. 8 o'clock ziyakhipha. 8 o'clock ziyakhipha. Abona ngiyasmile ma, akusasmiling way.
Okay.
How do we feel about the AFL, Yona, the AFL, and teams don't target my weakness? Angazi ukuthi coach abobani now. But what do you feel about those things?
But so far so good. I think the atmosphere and the mood game it was good. And it's good to see it support off, which is one of the things that we were arguing about. And also but it just needed proper planning, and also there must be proper communications towards it. From here, this is what's happening. These are teams that are qualified, and how will the competition progress? Because besikhulumele umnyameni isikhathi eside nabo bebangasisure ukuthi ke impela kwenzakalani nekufuneka ama-team angakhi. But so far for the first games, and I think they will learn, but moving forward they will learn, because yona the way umtsipa akhuluma ngakhona and the way uyibona ngakhona next year ngiyacabanga ukuthi khona ama-team azofakwa izokhula, because it's not only about yona kuphela as a Super League, but also about the fans yamanye ama-team, not Chiefs or Pirates, but even if you look at the north of Africa and iwafu B ayikho, and then you have Zamalek, Abek, Raja Casablanca, you know those are big teams, whether we like it or not. And by including them, I think they're going to add value, not only in terms of football, but also with the spectacles, and also in terms of being able to sell the product to the sponsors. Class. So it started very well, and Sundowns represented us well also. Siyazi vele lama team ala enzansi hayi lawo iyowashaya nawo. Siyayazi competition yakuthi wapi. So but yona vele siyabona kulawo.
Asisabi Luanda man, sayishaya nathi Petro. Sayishaya ne-White Hats, abashaya bonke man.
No, but ngithi bona babashaya isikhathi eside labo sesiyazi competition yabo vele seyile kakhulu phezulu. And of which is a good thing for South Africa. Leyo siyayazi le ukuthi cha laba bona iyabashaya, and yona isirepresenta kahle, siyakujabulela futhi nalokho. Ngoba phela mababala ama-team wa-South Africa nathi bayasibala noma bangahle kodwa nathi siyabala, kuthiwa South Africans sonke la.
So then, do you think Ngoba ngimzwile uMotsepe speaking about it, and he said that he wants. Uqale wathi the rankings took away a lot of teams, and then
Yeah.
Achi, no, he doesn't just want the best teams. He wants the biggest teams. He wants this and that.
Yeah.
Dude, abo Chiefs, nabo Pirates, nabo Raja, nabo Zamalek, nabo Saint Elua Lupopo, nabo should they be included in this tournament by default now?
They're gonna be included next Maibu next year Uzobona when. They're gonna be there. They're gonna be there because that was the initial idea. But just because Ogamanya is still new and we are still implementing some of the things, and also remember you needed to save space and time for ama fixtures already ama teams one now. Because amanye league waqalile amanye ayaqala no like wase Egypt nakuphi, so there wasn't time. But I think now moving forward, if they've got have calendars or ama league and have a proper communication, then they can expand it, because maybe then it will only take 2 months instead of 1 month now. Also taking into consideration the Confederation Cup. So I think moving forward, I think it's about planning and just prioritizing certain things. So okay, this is the perfect date for EFL. And I don't see anything wrong there.
I know. So we're taking some chips to Morocco. Let me go to streets.
And also, AB.
Oh, yes.
Yes. AB is not a bad player. It's not. It's not a bad play. It's just that I understand. Certain teams and certain play, you plan according to the strength and weakness, and also the targets. You know, if Sundowns go midfield, go no Allende, go no Sirinho. Those are short-tempered players now. You know, good if you can target them, about yellow card because they'll retaliate. No more, they will retaliate. So if you are AB now, he's a good defender. In most cases, if it comes to one-on-one, we are going to defend. But it's just good he's not being targeted. He needs to be targeted. In terms of counter pressing, so that as one mistake, you force him to make mistake. I can't one mistake because it's good, but you have to force him. It's the same thing when they final whereby you saw team having to pass Munare and go and stop Umukwena no Rivaldo by Kalebola from a move, because he knows once when about Jonah from lay a move, it's a problem. So you counter that thing that they end, not to say it's bad. No, it's good. That's why you have to plan against it and also exploit it. But
why don't we see it? Why don't we see it? No, but do you know what the PSL really gets on my nerves with? What gets on my nerves with you'll see the pattern of play, you'll see the weaknesses, you'll see the strengths of your own team and other teams. So game after game after game. But this catch so good, they must take advantage, especially in the PSL. My team where coach man, it doesn't feel like they're up to par with those type of things.
Ngakela ngathi inkinga esinayo namacoach wethu athanda ukuzenzela izinto zibe difficult zingekho difficult, instead of just making things simple nje bayathanda ukuzicontradict. And futhi badlala ne-Sundowns ngathi bayatatazela. It's like ngathi bashintsha yonke into ekumele bayenze, and of which i-Sundowns, those players are human. Now you need to identify their weakness and capitalize on that. But makudlala nayo i-Sundowns, you find them sekudlala abo-counter press, abo-counter block, like i-low block, uhlale move. I understand ukuthi kanti abantu bazele ukuzowenzani kahle like bazovimba uzange uzodlala. So yibo nje abasicoachayo now. But if once you can have coaches who can plan, also nabo whether uza ngayiphi wena i-idea, but they implement their own strategy ukuthi thina this is how we're going to play. Do you remember like kudala evile ball and you know ukuthi makuthiwa wena makuthi abangilibisi ngisho noma kuthiwa ulimele hamba uhlala naye ngaphandle ummeli abuye ezaphola abuye egrawundini. That's how it used to be. Ama-battles abo Joseph Ngake nabo Robson Mchitshwa on the left and right hand side. Do you see those things was like ukuthi makuthiwa Robson ehlala Ngake, we know ukuthi uNgake akakusho ukuthi ubad, but we know ukuthi once he can pass that center eze phambili sekuyinkinga. Yenza sure ukuthi akayi lapho. Jacob Shiseve, if you have to mark Jerry Skosano, mark Poland like so be it. That's the strategy.
As long as you stay with him.
fela kuye noma wenzani fela lapho.
I mean, maybe sibukela ibhola lakudala ngazi. Let me bring in the streets.
So okay. So next game awuye stadium vele. Umele uzola amajavu.
Mina
Yeah.
ngizithengela ama-chips ngizihlalele ekhaya. I've got my own band. FNB angifuni ukuya FNB
Une-ban yakho wena ephendile. Une-ban yakho epending and when you activated, it's you activated it.
Angizingeni mina angifuni next. Let me bring it to streets. How do we feel about the AFL after seeing the first round? And then I'm going to ask you the same question as somebody who speaks tactics. I understand that these players are good and all of that stuff, but surely if you see a weakness, you have to go after it.
Okay, Mr. OT. I wonder with the AB situation, AB is a very good one-on-one defender. There's no one in the league this season that has caused them problems one-on-one, except to clear when it's just runs. That's literally it. Mara, there's no one. Saling has never taken on.
How many yellow cards has he gotten and fouls has he gotten in transition?
Let's look at where he gets those yellow cards. Is it where Sundowns are pinned back, or is it in transition?
Then create transition opportunities. Why aren't they doing that?
If you create transition moments, that means that you always have Sundowns have the ball, and you really always want to have Sundowns have the ball because you know the quality that they have.
They usually have it. So the 5 times I get the ball, I have to be intentional with that 5 times.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, the position in which AP gets his yellow cards is not a position where he's getting them from Sundowns being pinned back and he's just committing reckless fouls. It's when he has to stop counter-attack. That's what he does. And he's just going to shout at Avela Mutigangani. That's what he does. That's how he gets his yellow card. It's not that they exploit him. I have not seen a team target AB to a point where Urulani feels, okay, AP is not doing the job. I need to take him out. I've never seen it.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Why, knowing the weakness, and it's not just AB. AB's Sundowns transition defense. It's AB and Mudau. I think Mudau probably has more fouls in transition than any other player in the league currently. So what I'm saying is, if I know that's how we need to play in order to put them in a tough situation, why not play that way? The example I use is Kaizer Chiefs. When he had problems with Dupré, is because for that moment, Kaizer Chiefs was attacking him in a specific way up to a point where Rulani had to take him off. They tried to change his position. So I'm saying it seems as though in general, not just with Sundowns, in the PSL, a lot of the times I can tell you the weaknesses. You can probably tell me the weaknesses of a lot of teams. But our coaches don't seem like they're aware enough. I don't want to say they're bad. I just want to say they're not aware enough to take advantage of those things.
In our OT, it's hard, man. You see, when we're sitting here, it's easy to say, yeah, just target AP. The thing is, you can't get the ball off Sundowns. That's the problem. The minute you regain the ball, it's already a counter press. You don't even have time to target to AP because now Abu Mukwena, now Abu Ali, and all of them just storm. You don't have time to look up. So when we watch on TV, be like, maybe you should just target AP, but they don't have that time. So I think Sundowns on that aspect, they're doing very well in that counter pressing system. It's so good that.
But he's already got 5 fouls. We've caught him out 5 times in the game. Why not 6, 7, 8?
Maraka, the thing is, Sundowns as a whole in Jabona, they all get yellow cards. It's not
That's
just
what I'm saying. We've caught them out already.
Guys, but it's tactical fouls. I mean, I still want to see a team that goes toe-to-toe with Sundowns and has Sundowns on the back foot such that we see AB's weaknesses one-on-one. Because
but you see, I think that's where we differ. I think that's where we differ. I don't want my team to go toe-to-toe. I don't want. I want the team to target one guy, right? So when we win the ball, we play it here over and over and over again so that if Sundowns has 20 fouls, I need AB to have 7 of them to the point where I can look to the referee and go, Mara, my guy, these professional fouls that you keep blowing, now this guy's got 7 of them, but you're not sending him off. What are we supposed to do? You get what I mean? But I feel like what happens with teams is that they win the ball, then they're fine with, they don't know what to do. Then they go, okay, we're just going to progress forward. Then Mudau has 3, Vala has 4, AB has 5. And then in a situation where now, was it the Pirates game, where AB had a yellow card, Vala had a yellow card, Mudau has a yellow card. So the whole back line has yellow cards plus Allende. And I'm like, in that situation, Streets, what are you telling your team to do?
Okay, maybe if you are to exploit AB, right, like defensive wise, I think then how you get there is you need a good winger. So I don't know who in the PSL is one-on-one good dribbler. Who would you recommend in the PSL?
I don't even need them to dribble. I would put Dupria there. Saleng could work there. Abolos could work there.
Then what I would recommend is that you overload side like I'm down. So you do what's called they call it overload to isolate. So you overload last side one down. Then you play these switches. Man City do this a lot.
Yes.
So then you leave them one-on-one. Then we can see how good really is. Because we've never seen teams do that. Teams don't use that tech. They don't overload Sundown. Okay, Sundown is so good. Let's give them credit.
No, give them all the credit.
Yeah, so right now we still haven't seen a team really capitalize on Sundown's weaknesses, as you say. There's no one.
But why? That's why I think the question is, why don't they do it? Because I understand you guys being scared and all of that stuff. But if I was playing versus a team that's getting 20 fouls every game, 25 fouls consistently every game, that is a weakness. But then sometimes, I always say when we're here that be defensive. You can be as defensive if you want to be. Now, you can play a low block, but have a plan for when the pressure gets released. Whether it's 2 times, 3, 4, 5 times, have a plan. And what we see is that when teams play against Sundowns, when teams sometimes play against Pirates in some cases, it's like we're so focused on defending that when we get the ball, and we know we're going to get 1 or 2 chances, when you get the ball, you don't know what to do. You find the teams getting lost themselves, or they wake up too late. If you look at the Polokwane City game, at the end of that game, when they had nothing left, when there was no pressure anymore, or there was no, they couldn't necessarily win the game, they started playing and putting Sundowns on the back foot. TS Galaxy, first half of the first half of the game they played, and then the second half of extra time, they played incredibly. And I'm like, guys, why don't you guys wake up and do those things? Why don't you guys target? Why is it that when we play against Sundowns, it's always half of a plan? Even Chiefs, half of a plan.
These teams, before they come into the game, they've already lost. That's the thing that we have to accept in South Africa. Before the ball is even kicked, they've already lost. So already the mentality is, okay, guys, let's not concede. It's Sundowns. Let's reduce at least 2 goals. At least our goal difference is standard. Because generally, we will never see Sundowns' weaknesses unless you go for them. Will never. Sundowns will never. Mvala will never make mistakes until you go for him. That's why we're seeing in the AFL, he got a penalty and he caused the penalty. Yeah, that's because what did Pedro do? They went for Sundowns. Now we start seeing Sundowns being uncomfortable. But in the PSL, teams in J, they just wanna. They've already accepted defeat. There's no belief. So we have to change that mentality first. To be like, okay, guys, we understand it's Sundown, but there's no point in just sitting back and letting Sundowns shy 4-0. You might as well go for them, and then maybe you get that 1-1 draw. Who knows? They will never always have a good game, but then if you allow them to always have a good game, they will have a good game. And to the point of the AFL, and that thing shows you it's so good that we finally seeing teams that are able to challenge Sundowns, because sometimes it gets boring to just watch Sundowns have the ball 90 minutes, just pass. No one is doing it. All right, guys, we need more of this. That's how I think. To me, it's not a bad idea, this tournament. It's actually perfect. Because who would have thought Pedro was going to make... How many saves did Ronan have to make?
Quite a few, but even the penalty was over. Even the penalty was crazy.
Exactly. But in the PSL, how many saves does he make in one game?
He has more touches than passes than saves.
Exactly. You see, so we don't have teams that can challenge Sundowns. So I like the EFL. I want more games. They must expand it to 24 teams. So we can finally challenge Sundowns.
Should both Chiefs be included in that 24 teams?
I'm taking Muhammad to prayer formation. I think then you'll be wasting your time, Chef. I won't even lie, Chef. They are wasting. That's even gonna be worse. At least in the PSL it's 1-0. Imagine Kaizer Chiefs versus Al Ahly. Alright, guys, no. They 4-0 max minimum 4-0 3-0.
But guys, they beat us by what was it, 2-0? 2-0 or 1-0 the last time we saw them. We had a red card in a final of CAF.
But the chances that they were wasting, guys, Chiefs is not ready. Chiefs is not ready. They must just accept it. They're just not ready. Taking Muhammad to play formation is just not ready. You must rest. Chiefs, no. Not Chiefs. Maybe
Okay.
Pirates. Maybe Pirates.
Guys, you need a much chips way to man. Agent 007, very quickly, your predictions for tomorrow night versus Petro. Is it another hammering?
I was wondering if you guys forgot about us also. I was just wondering. I would say the conversation was so nice, but I think I think I would just encourage you guys, bring excuse me.
You see, yeah, this is what happens when you're about to talk crap about us.
Yeah, no, I'm back. No, I'm sorry about that. No, I was about to say, bring in Timoyane Salwana, wear your ANC t-shirts, and come and salute Timoyane. It's fine, and let's make Loftus beautiful, And I think for me, I'm not that worried about the game, but I think this has to be the message that the technical team, Rulani and Mangoba and others are emphasizing that last game on home soil, there was a team which was leading us with 2-0 in 20 minutes. So 2-0 is a deceiving score, so we shouldn't take our foot off the pedal. We should go there, dominate as always, try to get an early goal to kill that morale, because 1 goal means 3 goals. I don't think we will see that much, but we need that early goal. And yeah, guys, just go out there, support us, Paris fans, Chiefs fans. Come to Loftus, guys. Now I'm just waiting for visa, man. I've applied for visa. I don't know. Sure.
But tell me, agent, they said come wearing yellow. My team wears a yellow. If I come with my Chiefs kit, will I be allowed in?
I got told you I'm a Chiefs man. No, I Chiefs take your gold. Don't. Let's not forget. Let's not force success. The successful team in Mzansi is yellow, not gold. I'll make you gold. So let's not don't bring that like to our color, man. Yours is gold. but I think I'm happy that finally games are returned to Loftus, because wow, man, that has been crazy, and SuperSport can finally go back to Atteridgeville, that junkyard. But it's fine.
I can't really buy seats at UT, but it's fine. We'll speak about it. Theo, Marabafun is yellow too. I know what you call yellow. It counts.
Abasiyeke. Nangu street asidelela azima doda kanti bakhipha ne-brown envelope kuze bafike finally ye-10-8 umhlolo bo singahle ukushaya bona bakhipha i-brown envelope kuze babhadale lokhu refu balo kuze bafike finally ye-10-8 umhlolo loya hayi
uthikele match akusasa isikole sizothini. Do you think Sundowns at home is going to drop them?
Ngeke. I think, if they do what they did first half in Pedro, guys, I think also, a lot of us, we only watched Sundowns. We didn't watch Pedro. If you watch those guys, they score that penalty. They keep on pressing Sundowns as they did first half. And I'm making an example. Sundowns were not as comfortable as they usually were. Alende, they were not that much on the ball as they usually are. My point is, if they do that tomorrow, they can upset Sundowns. It could be a 2-2 draw on an extra time, maybe go on penalties. But I don't think Sundowns having an easy game based on the game that they played previously. I think this team can come here and cause an upset. And also, Mkwen, uyamazi Rulani. Rulani can shock you and qalisa umaseko kubhede kokugcina. So we never know, but I don't think they will win it that easy. I think it would be a very interesting game to watch.
Okay. uzogqoka ikhithi yakho uyele Loftus.
Straight ngicokela ijezi le-Chiefs nangabe banenkinga nalo abasijikise egeyithini bazosihlolela ngeke sizwe ngabo.
Streets, how do you see tomorrow's game going? Do you think that Sundowns is going to have an easy game versus this Pedro team? And I don't know if you have something yellow. Are you going to head down to Loftus?
I mean, ngihlezi ngikhona there. Sundowns is the one. You see how bad Kaizer Chiefs are? It's so bad that the Chiefs fans want to go to Loftus to watch a game for free. Our guys.
People said we must support, Mar. South Africa's team.
You must go on Twitter and protest on take you in on Hamben in the Children and Yom Chalo with Apumi. Negative Sundowns. How? Is that? Okay, tomorrow's game. No, Sanda, it depends if they play. If Ribeiro's back or Shadulil, I think the win comfortably. If those guys are back,
okay.
But if they're not back, I see them struggling still because that focal point, man. There's no one there, man. So yeah, I think then it could be a draw, maybe 1-1 draw or 1-0 draw. It just depends on if Shadulil or Ribeiro's back. If they're back, then Sundowns I can say 2-0.
Okay, 2-0, 4-0 in the tie. Yay. All right, but guys, thank you so much for joining me for this time. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you to the commenters. A special shout out to Pumindo Vedi for for renewing her subscription, Lord Mola for subscribing, Velila for subscribing on YouTube, Winelo Asparado, Tosta, Zweli Mazia, exquisite photo moments and video streets as well. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. It helps a lot to keep all of this running. Let me see who else gave me gifts here on TikTok. Saint Knox, Yanni, Agent 007, user 848. Your name is not appearing. Thank you so much for the gifts. Tonight we'll speak about that other Soweto team. Tonight we're going to speak about that other Soweto team, how we feel. I know a lot of people were waiting for an announcement. So I was like, I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I'll see you again at 8. Like I said, this show happens Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Busiku. You'll find me here. If you want to watch back any of the episodes or what my panelists said, it's not just match reviews we do. We also speak about really burning topics in football. They are all available on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to support, you can subscribe over here on TikTok, or you can subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube. On YouTube, it's 20 Rand, 60 Rand, and 160. Those are the options. So if you want to support, please head on over that side and support. But guys, I'll see you guys then. 8 o'clock, zokuluma ngale ndaba ye-Chiefs. Ngale ndaba ye-Chiefs. We'll talk about it, hey? Yeah. I'll see you guys.